Hello, I'm Jerry Lintner, and this is State of the Town, a monthly show when we sit with our first selectman, Lisa Heavner, and get brought up to date on the state of the town. Boss, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, Jer?
Your hair looks great.
Thank you.
What's new?
Well, lots of big news.
Oh.
Very excited. You know, we partnered with the Housing Authority, and they received a major grant for $750,000.
Who are they?
The Housing Authorities, the Virginia Conley Housing Authority.
Oh, yeah. So
in Murphy, in the northern side of town.
So a lot of renovation.
Yeah, to help our most needy residents, and we're very excited. It's a state grant, so we thank Kevin Wickos and John Hampton for their help, and the Board of Selectmen who authorized this, and town staff. A huge deal. So Small Cities grant came in, where our Director of Finance and his department just got recognized for financial reporting excellence. So very excited for that. And our police department just finished their Junior Police Academy, which is...
Nothing is broken, and we voted to fix what wasn't broken.
But there are, truthfully, there are a lot of great things going on and a lot of things coming up. The Simsbury Police Department just got their national reaccreditation.
Like I said.
I know. Well, it's a good deal. Good stuff happening. We've got a lot of good events coming up. There's a Grange. Simsbury Grange got a series of grants that the town authorized them to apply for. So lots of good things happening, leveraging taxpayer dollars to support our community. Excited about that.
You're wearing me out.
I know, but there's so much coming up. In my first Selectwoman's report, which I know you get, there's lots of lists of activities, like a bike ride with the Farmington Valley Trail.
Oh, yeah. How'd that come out? They're going to let these people stay overnight, right?
No, that's unrelated.
Oh, that's a different one. This is just a
bike trail. And Hike to the Mike is coming up on August 26th to 27th.
Hike of the Mike?
Hike to the Mike at Hugh Blind Tower. Or High Blind Tower, depending on how you say it.
What's the Mike?
They have music up there, so you hike to the microphone.
And so this is like you go up and sing?
I think other people sing, but you can go up and listen. Yeah, it's a fun time.
Hike to the Mic.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and so a lot of paving going on in town right now.
I had noticed that.
So that's our high season for getting our paving done, and we just kicked off our bike pedestrian master planning process, and so we'll be reaching out to the public on that. And so lots happening in town, Jer.
I see over in the corner there the map that, the Siting Council... Is this the current one they're proposing, or the original one? They scaled down the original one, right?
This is the scaled-down version?
Okay, now I have a question. At one point, most of this was tobacco fields.
That's right.
And most of this that I'm familiar with, that came to my mind when we talked about it, is not farmed.
No, a lot of it is being farmed right now.
Oh, I thought it was contaminated soil and couldn't be farmed.
No, some of it is being farmed right now.
Okay, see, so I was wrong. Because then I would imagine part of the discussion is, should it be used for agriculture, or should you be covering arable land up with panels where you can't grow anything except maybe grow shade tobacco? That'd be a shade crop.
So what I will say is this land is, it's easy to talk about what
This land is my land. This land belongs to you and me.
Truthfully, it doesn't. It doesn't belong to you or I. It belongs to a private individual, a private group. So it's not town land.
I didn't know.
Yes.
Well, I knew it wasn't town land. But
yeah. So it's a private sale of land from a private individual to another private individual.
Why can't they do whatever they want with it then, other than contaminate it?
Well, so there are issues out there. So no, you can't always do what you want on your land because there's zoning rules and regulations.
With a zoning rule, that would say you can't put up solar panels. Oh, wait, we'll ask your guest that.
But the point is, so this is actually a plan that it goes through a state siting council. So the decision will be made at the state level.
It's like a telephone tower.
Yeah. And the question, but it raises lots of policy issues. Should you be placing? It is a good thing to have solar panels and renewable energy, right? That is a good policy, but it's also a good policy to preserve farmland and forests.
As long as it's not contaminated. See, I was wrong about that. I thought it was.
So there may be some issues. We have some open questions on environmental issues that need to be further explored because when they put in panels, they do dig, a little bit down to put the pilings in and want to make sure that there's no disturbances that are going to release something that might be harmful. So we are asking them to look at environmental considerations there, and the town does believe there are some gaps in information that need to be addressed.
Okay, well, I don't know. Let's see, Linda Schofield talked about how great it would be. She would love to live next to a very quiet, and apparently they're talking about planting around it so that it would not be so visible.
So I think, some people, most of the community is very in favor of renewable energy. The concerns with this project, a lot of it is very big, very big. And it's very close to some of the abutters, our neighbors. And it does impact a scenic view, an important scenic view and a historical view along Hoskins that our Plan of Conservation and Development has recognized as an important view to maintain.
You mean the one I call the weed field?
Well, some people like the way it looks. I mean, there are times when it looks spectacularly beautiful, and there are a couple of historic homes there, one of which it will surround. So
I would think that all the people with the allergies to like ragweed and what's the yellow one that's going to come in pretty soon? Yarrow? No, not yarrow. Anyhow, they might be for this, reduce all that so they could breathe again.
Look, what's important to the town is, one, that the Siting Council has all the information they need, and they give us the highest level of review possible so that they're basing their decision based on good information.
Right.
And the second thing we've been really trying to be stewards of is if it comes through, and the Board of Selectmen hasn't taken yet a position on where they're going to come out on this, but if it comes through, it really needs to be done very well and make sure that the Siting Council holds up the Simsbury standards. But there are values we want to make sure that the Siting Council really takes into play. Connecticut values about preserving agriculture and farmland, renewable energy as well, but they should be balanced. And preserving, scenic views, sense of place in this town. There are historical considerations in that area, and of course environmental and air and water.
The sense of place, and I have mentioned this before, and I need to know now, who do I go to and bang over the head who will assist me on this? I mean, I banged you on the head twice, and you're so gracious, but you're very oily. You've gotten around it each time. You've said, other people have mentioned that, and then you change the subject. Now, Mary was even better at doing that than you are, but here it is. Okay. So, okay, maintaining the scenic atmosphere and environment.
Yeah.
We have all these little bits of open space that are in such terrible shape, and they were a requirement as areas were built. We also have a problem that older people in town who love this town and would feel like part of their personality were gone if they had to leave. But it's expensive to live here. If zoning were to come up with those little lots, those back lots, could be sold to seniors, or I don't care who. Yeah, I do. Seniors. And it'd be like $15,000. The senior would maintain them themselves. They'd have this little back lot. The town would save so much money, or now it's saving money because it's not doing anything to them, and neighbors complain and everything. Okay, so would it be like Dave Ryan I would go to?
It would be.
I would. Well, he's pretty tough, though, hitting him over the head. But
he is
I
tough.
Could maybe give a try.
But he's a nice guy, and it's true.
Oh, of course he's a nice guy.
But we do need to sort of think about housing for people in all generations, those who are starting out in life and those who are looking to downsize.
First home, and think how much money it would save the town in those additional taxes. Oh, I bet Dave will be so excited about this.
Yeah,
he probably hasn't heard about it before.
I suspect he has not.
Yeah. Okay. Well, by the way, who's your guest today?
As it happens, my guest is Dave Ryan.
Oh, no! No way!
Dave, come on.
I picked door number 2.
But Dave Ryan is not only chairman of zoning, he's also the president of the Performing Arts Center and one of our gems in town. So he can really talk to...
Jerry, good to see you again.
Good to see you, Jim, in town. Also
Gem,
known as Dave
not
Ryan.
Jim.
I said Jim. But Tom Vincent is like the manager.
He's the facility manager. He's a paid employee of our 501c3 Simsbury PAC.
And I understand the reason you were chosen to head this up was that you used to do vaudeville?
No, we don't entertain. We just count the money.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, tell us how it's going.
Scheduling and they
Scheduling.
And people camping overnight. And,
we are having a 2 Left Feet festival, 3-day festival, Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. and people will bring RVs in. There's a back lot behind the Red Barn, which is a parking lot, and they'll be there with security, first aid, and so on. But it's a common thing for these blues fests, which are held all around New England and in New York State. And quite a few people attend them. We're trying to get it off the ground. We probably will have less than 1,000 or so people, but some of these fests have gotten up to 5,000 people.
Yeah. We have friends, neighbors, who go up north to one that runs 3 days, and it's like, but it's out in the wild. It's like Vermont or New Hampshire or something.
There's several in New Hampshire and Vermont.
Huge. But what surprised me a little, when it seemed like some people objected, and maybe as a result of something that occurred in an earlier performance, but wait a minute, I remember years ago when a biking trip went through here and they all pitched tents. I thought it looked great, and it was a very family kind of affair out there, and I thought, I don't remember that being an issue then.
It was
So
not. It's been used several times. It's been.
Oh, it has been.
Somebody looked at the zoning regulations and made a determination that it did not pass our zoning regs, and so they got corrected.
They did fix the zoning regs, so it is now permitted under law.
It is
great.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
Now, on your question about the small
point at
lots,
me, Dave.
I got a gun.
I had a teacher who used to do that. She only has 9 fingers now.
Oh my goodness! All right. So, about the small lots. Why don't you talk about senior
One
housing?
of the wonderful things is that is something the Planning Commission has to deal with.
So I guess we'll have
Talk
Bill
about
Rice
slippery.
on next time, right? Mr. Rice on next
But no,
time.
I was on the Planning Commission for 4 years in the early 2000s, and the deeds to that property either are to the town or they're conservation easements. So the owner may be, I don't know who owns it if it's a conservation easement, whoever owned it in the first
And
place.
where's the dog park? What part's it on?
Dog Park is on town land.
Okay. And there is a conservation easement down there? I remember when all those
I
segments...
don't think so.
No, not on the
We're
dog
gonna-
park.
Oh, not on the dog park.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I remember there were like 3 different basic segments with different ownership, some private, some state, some this, some that. And then one by one, other than the last one down at the end, got acquired, I thought, by the town, all of them. But there's a conservation easement somewhere still? Or is that just like a rule that...
Not that I know of, but I didn't research the land title, so you could look at that. But the town owns it
whoever
now.
reads, those things, you could check that. I'm sure Dave would want to know about that.
No, it's a sensitive area, so that we really work with the Performing Arts Center to make sure that we're being environmentally respectful to the area and the
Then the
needs of that.
seniors aren't going to take over the Performing Arts Center anymore, right?
Not right now, no.
Not
We're
right now.
we're re-looking at what to do with the senior center.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so we've had a lot of rain, and we live
have.
up across from the school.
Yes.
So we love some of the symphonic music. They could turn up the volume on that a little bit.
But we do monitor that.
Yeah,
the sound.
then I noticed it looked like somebody was setting up an RV and chairs on the back of the funeral parlor's lawn across the street. Now, I know people don't like to see aesthetically the fence up there, but I remember when all people come would sit right along there and they wouldn't pay to go in to see anything. That didn't seem fair.
So we do encourage people to buy the tickets because that's how we support the Performing Arts Center.
And that's what I wanted to ask. How's
Yes.
it going? We making money hand over fist?
No, we try to break even.
Really?
And we have a piece of the action, if you will. We get a percentage of the tickets that the symphony
A percentage
sells.
or a flat amount?
A percentage.
And anything else is a flat amount.
And we get a license payment too. But when their attendance is down, that hurts us too.
And the weather was not
And the weather
good
was
for
not
a lot of the
good.
performances.
We don't have the final figures from the symphony, but I would guess they're down 20% this year.
But the important thing is they're a nonprofit, so they're not out there to make a lot of money. They're looking to get their expenses covered.
The problem is if you don't cover your expenses,
Right, it gets
suddenly
very
you
high.
don't exist.
Right.
Right.
But if you do more than cover your expenses, I remember way back in the early days when I was down at the Hartford, and they probably made a big contribution to it.
But there are some great events. Dave, can you tell
Yeah.
us what's coming up?
Oh, we've got the Two Left Feet coming up, and then we've got a spooktacular at the end of October, which will draw about 2,000 to 3,000 people for a Chili Fest, which is a seriously...
Oh, talk about spectacular spectacular chili.
Yes.
And the chamber's involved
chamber-
in that.
chamber
Tell me a
puts
little
that
more
out.
about that.
Well, they encourage entrance. There's a $250 or $350 prize for the winning chili recipe.
How much?
So they'll have 30 or 40 chili cookers there, and you pay an entrance fee and you get to test the chilies. And then there's a panel of judges that go in the back room and they taste all the chilies and they vote. And
Woo.
those votes,
I hope they clear out pretty quick after they tested everything.
and it counts toward the national championships for chili. So there are people that go all over the country competing in these
It's really
contests. It was a
fun.
great idea.
But also you have Septemberfest
I
coming
was
up.
going to say,
Yeah.
I jumped over Septemberfest. That's a 3-day event that's been going on for a long time. And,
Yeah, it's really varied in character. Now, has that been building again? I mean, from the time the chamber pulled out, it was massive. And then, thank goodness, the community said, let's try
Do it
to
again.
rebuild this and start this. So is it steadily growing?
yes,
or-
we the last couple of years we've done some new marketing. We've looked at each day and set a theme for the day, trying to appeal to different groups of people and increase the attendance. And it seems to have worked very well last
It
year.
seems to have a progressive family orientation to it, with more things that young kids would be interested in.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's great.
It is great.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
And being on the grass, the rollerbladers can't come through like they could on the pavement.
That's
Yes.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. But that's good. We have Sunday afternoon an Oktoberfest. On Sunday morning we'll have a jazz band and a coffee and things, a
Now,
brunch.
you know, the criticism when I was involved with Main Street that I had of the Hartford Symphony, they would get details to us so late that for us as an organization to participate in publicizing it, it would, you know, so all of a sudden people didn't know the dates ahead of time. In the summer, you got to reserve family
Yeah.
weekends and
So I
dates.
think that's much improved.
That's improved. A few years ago, the Bushnell took over the administration of the Hartford Symphony Orchestra.
Okay.
And that helped a lot because I think they're really a lot more organized. There were a lot of volunteers in the symphony picture, and they've done a really good job. But we get the dates in November.
Oh,
For the following
oh,
year.
wow, that's a big change.
Yeah.
We don't get the events. We don't know who
Yeah, but
it's going to be, and they do publicize the artists about March, so we get plenty of time to promote
Yeah,
them,
okay.
and they do work at promoting it too. Steve Collins is the new executive director down there, and he's great.
He's been a great partner with the town. We're very pleased. You know, we're one of the things we're so proud of is to be the summer home of the
always so
Hartford
pleased
Symphony.
with everybody.
Well, we have,
Pollyanna, oh.
Jerry, we live in a
Shoot
great community, and the reason why it's great is because lots and lots of volunteers, including Dave and his entire board, is volunteers. So, and it's because, and you know, and your wife, who are here doing this show, volunteers, and that's what makes this
And
community
you
great.
will be next year running for some unpaid office. So.
There you go. All right.
But the symphony does a great job. They're a great draw. It's a wonderful thing. People really love it, and they're our premier tenant. We just
Yeah, those were my favorites, the symphony. And the more they stayed, and I don't listen to classical music at home, but I loved hearing it performed live. And the
Yep.
director they have now, although we don't always get her, but boy, when she came, wow.
she was here
One
twice
year
this
to
summer.
the next year,
Yeah.
I said, is that the same orchestra? I mean, precise, passionate, quiet, what it
Just
should
good.
be. Yeah, it was really incredible. Well, actually, the two of you have been dominating this conversation with things you wanted to talk about, but it's so enjoyable, I thought I would just leave it in your hands for a little bit. What additionally would you like to talk about in case maybe I didn't cover something?
Well, let's see. A couple of things
I was
that
talking to Dave.
Oh. I do want to give a shout out to the Simsbury Women's Arts and Crafts Festival that's coming up.
Oh,
That'll be coming up.
yes.
That's coming up in September, and we've got the book sale, right? Which is coming
The
up
library.
at the library, so that's a great thing. And I'm trying to think, back to school, we have back to school assistance for people. If you want to call social services, if you're struggling, we're giving gift cards to Walmarts to help
Oh, you
families
mean
that
in buying
yeah.
supplies. Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of good stuff coming up. One of the things you may have noticed over the summer is the town's carry-in, carry-out policy with trash cans. We eliminated the trash cans and asked folks to bring in the trash and take it out.
And when does it start?
It's underway right now, and a lot of people are doing a great job. A few people are forgetting that they need to bring their trash out with them, and just a gentle reminder, if you bring it in, please take it out.
Well, we called to follow up, we the Flower Bridge people, and we were told, no, you are part of the park system, so you will lose it. Well, we haven't lost them yet.
Well, you can pay for your own, so absolutely.
Well, I don't think we're doing that yet, but we can pay for our own.
Yeah.
But boy, after a weekend, there's one of each, and they are packed.
So
But I don't know. There's not a sign up right now. If you bring it in, take it out.
So the signs are in the works, so those should be coming up soon. But what we found with that is that actually, and what other towns have found, is that when you implement that, the parks are cleaner, because oftentimes when you see trash cans, people do illegal dumping. They'll bring more, and they'll be overflowing. You'll see wasps and bees. And a lot of the wildlife around that become dependent on the food in there for their existence, and that's not good for wildlife. So it's a much better sustainable policy, and when people do it and do it well, the parks will be cleaner.
So maybe some clever little, like, we don't want your junk, we don't want you.
We do want them.
But not their junk.
Yeah, but we do want them. I don't think we want to say we don't want you.
How about, we would love to have you without your junk in really big letters.
Well, we'll certainly consider that
Well,
suggestion.
if you want my input on, what was the one I saw? I will get in so much trouble
You
for
then
saying
stop. Dave, what would you like to talk about?
this. What would you like to talk about?
We like to talk about a lot of things.
Yeah, okay, well.
Well,
we
Performing
have a
Arts
couple
Center
minutes
is
left.
one.
What was-
The Performing Arts Center is one. We're
we
doing
already did that.
we have a grant from the Hartford Foundation for Public Giving to do a strategic plan for our board, and to try to focus us and figure out what's the best way to approach building out that facility down there. It's been 12 years with hardly anything done to it.
Right.
This year we bought about 1,300 chairs, so we don't rent chairs anymore. And you contributed.
So was it 1,300 people or some
No.
people at a total of 1,300?
1,300 chairs,
Yeah.
270 people gave money.
And there's something new coming, too.
Wait a minute. How many chairs?
1,300.
And how many were paid for? 270 people?
Yes.
Get off your chairs and buy a chair down there. Now, how can they still do this?
We're now raising money for the ticket booth.
Oh,
So tell us about the
controversy.
ticket booth.
Controversy.
No, I don't think there is.
Yes, there is. And I think it's so clever. First of all, within our family, there's some disagreement on this, but there was a plan, and okay, that makes lots of sense. Well, there was a lot of no, so it didn't go ahead. I thought you guys did the most clever thing this year. You put up that god-awful, ugly trailer right in the place where the ticket booth would have gone that was aesthetic looking, and now people are thinking, anything would be better than that ugly
Well,
trailer.
they now have a beautiful design that's sort of in the genre of
Yeah, it looks like
the
a
train
railroad.
station.
Looks like a train station. It'll be on Iron Horse Boulevard.
Yeah.
It'll be up at the sidewalk with 4 windows in the front and 2 on each side, 1 for will call. So we'll have about twice the ticketing capacity that we have in the trailers, and it'll be on the sidewalk, so we'll be able to keep people off the property that aren't ticketed, and that will make our promoters very happy.
And so this would make the people who had aesthetic objections to the last one, they've seen it and they love it.
Yes, they were involved in the redesign.
Oh, smart.
It's a lovely design.
It's a good design.
And it's handicapped accessible.
Handicap
so
accessible.
I'm not sure if I am going to miss you. It's a lovely design.
It
Things
is
are
lovely.
hearts and feelings. this community, everybody is out. Of
But it's
course
all
I'm
true.
going to
Come on.
miss
It's
you.
all true.
It is all true.
Positive is important.
Well, no, there are 3 people. Sorry.
But anyway, that's going to be a great addition. But there are other things that need to be done. The green rooms, we really would like to build a cover over 3,000 seats so that the promoters will be protected from weather events.
Yeah, that could sustain at least a minimum level, even if the rain went bad, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That'd be
And
great.
so that's
I mean, the weather.
that's a factor that the symphony is interested in, and the other promoters, of course. But that's more money. The first we have to do is get ourselves organized in the right way so we can go and approach people and raise money,
Oh.
easily.
But what they're doing with their vision statement and their strategic plan, I think will help them get in the right position.
So how will we see the vision plan? And the
Well, when it's done,
strategic
it'll
plan?
be public.
it'll
They'll
be
share it
public,
with the
yeah.
Board of Selectmen. But they already reached out to the community. I don't know if you went to their focus group, but if you have something you think should be in it or a suggestion, you can email Dave or give him a
Yeah,
call.
or call Jeff Dornenberg. He's collecting all the information.
How does the town manager feel about all this?
We don't have a town manager yet.
Oh,
We have a contract with the town. We're a 501c3 independent
I know,
organization. So
I mean, so the selectmen built one thing, and then it's like things can be voted, things can be told to be done, but then there are people on the delivery system that things may or may not get done.
No, I will say the Performing Arts Center really,
I'm not
their
talking
members.
about the Performing Arts Center. I'm talking about the town manager sitting back there being king or queen of the town and just doing what they damn well please, regardless of what the community
well, I
wants.
think, you look at the example of Phil Shank in Avon for 30 years. He did such a fantastic job there.
We're
That
so
everybody,
much better than those towns. How dare you say
But
that?
Dave is right. You can get a very good person, and that will be good for the town.
Well, no wonder.
And it's our job to look
Avon
for
has
that.
the one that used to be the assistant to our first selectman. What better training could he have had?
Yeah, so we're working on it.
Yep.
We'll
Oh,
try.
we could hire him. No. Okay, guys. Well, then, so I probably have no time left for the sign I read in front of a church, right?
I don't know what sign you read in front
We'll
of the
bite.
church.
So what? We'll bite.
Advice?
We'll
He
bite.
said, "Go ahead and ask."
Oh, okay. If you drive by a church going toward Farmington Woods, West Avon Road,
Yes.
there is a sign that says, Don't worry, it will kill you. Let the church help." Or it says, "Don't worry, it'll kill you. Let the church help." Don't worry, it'll kill you. Let the church help.
Thank you, Jerry.
Okay.
And with that,
Okay, well, Dave.
Sure. Good to see you.
Glad you're alive and kicking it.
Hey, we're trying.
Again. And you, my queen, are always fantastic.
thank you, Jerry.
And thank all of you.
Yes, and
come
Jan and
on.
Riley.
Yes.
Come on.
Thank you.
Get involved in community television. And see you next month on State of the Town.
Funding for Simsbury Community Television is provided in part by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.